wait, we started?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, ready? This is going to be the greatest Robin Williams impression you've seen in your
Sure.
I can't even do it now. Okay. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Do, 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 do. Don't
You ran out of
not to
words
live
that quick.
this in silence. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. Don't stay out of pride on my parade. There we go.
Hello, and welcome to Schmaltz.
Welcome to Mrs. Doubtfire, local rendition.
So after a long hiatus, we are back, and we are going to review Tenet, which is the new film by Christopher Nolan, and the only film in cinemas, apart from like reruns. There's a couple of, but yeah.
Except for breaking in and playing your own stuff on the on the camcorder, I think that's.
I'm in the New Mutants though, weekend, so that'll be good. We'll go maybe see that next week. If it's good, if it's got like 1%, then maybe not. 1 out of 10. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Tenet. So to begin with, we're going to give a little brief plot summary by Bradley. Right here. Are you ready to go? Little non-spoiler before we get.
Spoiler. That's the worst part in a Christopher Nolan film.
You can do this
when the whole film is talking about the story. Yeah. So it's Christopher Nolan film. So it's very clever. There's lots of. It's very timey-wimey, like a lot of Christopher Nolan films. Yeah, very timey-wimey. That's the official term. Coined by Doctor Who. Yeah. So the timey-wimey thing in this one is that they're finding objects. So they're in normal time, like just like living life. Living it up, and then they find objects that just the objects are in reverse time. So say you've got a gun and shot a bullet into a wall, then this is the example they used. If you have a reverse gun, then you use the reverse gun and the bullet comes out of the wall fixes itself because it's going back in time, and then the bullet comes back into the gun. So they do stuff like that. They do like if you do the opposite of grabbing them, the bullet comes up. Yeah, stuff like that. So there's loads, random objects that kind of go back in time, which they're starting to find. And like many good films, there's a bad guy wanting to use it for bad things. Bad guy. Russian bad guy. Russian. But yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Timey-wimey stuff. Bad guy wants to use timey-wimey things. The end.
It's so our general impressions before spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go first, then you go.
Yeah, go on.
I liked it. I liked it more than Bradley, but the story and the characters aren't fully there, are they? They're not. We'll get properly into it in spoilers, but they're not fully there. But the concept itself's brilliant. It's like it's a very unique film compared to everything else nowadays. But yeah, no, for me probably a 7 out of 10. Now that is a good score on our little scale because that is a good movie. That is still a good film. I know that we probably rated Ice Age, but that was a joke. Like,
actually,
as this stands as like a proper movie, as we start from here on in with Schmaltz, that's a pretty good score. That's a good film. It's not for me. It was every other Christopher Nolan film I preferred. So it's like my least favorite, but saying that, that's still good. That's a good movie. Saying it's my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie is still saying it's a good film.
Yeah, I mean, when you're comparing it to like Interstellar and Dark Knight and stuff like these films you see in the top 100 films of all time, it's not that much of a dig to say it's the worst one by him. I kind of agree. I thought the concept was really cool. Like, all the time stuff was really cool. The effects were really cool. Like the set pieces to do with that when you see them,
Both of it's practical for the most part. That's why it's so.
Yeah.
No, Christopher Nolan focuses on that. You know that, mate. Well,
right.
yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, I've heard that. Sure,
He like
yeah,
he does achieve as little as he can.
And
Carry
yeah,
on,
seeing it's not seeing these time things. I was saying is seeing them working together is really cool. And yeah, so I thought that was all really good. But it's a 2-hour 45 film, and it just seemed a bit few and far between of where the actual cool, interesting points were. The points when you think, wow, this is a really good use of this, topic, this subject, this idea. And all the stuff between it was just random people talking and exposition, and it felt like there were loads of people in it that didn't really matter to the story. I felt like as an editor or a director, I could have easily cut out some scenes and got that runtime down a bit. So, and also it's a Christopher Nolan film. I was a bit confused. I'm gonna be honest. it takes me a bit.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it, but it did feel like it went on quite a bit, and there was quite a bit that I was, I just felt like I was sat there thinking I don't have a clue what's going on.
What would you rate?
So I'd rate it a 6 out of 10. I think I still feel the same now as I did when I saw it, because that's kind of on my scale of how much did I enjoy watching the film, how much did it mean to me. I guess.
Thinking about it though.
Yeah.
I told you this. Like,
I guess, yeah. Oh yeah, it's cool.
About us walking backwards in him. So
yeah, it does have that to it. I think it's just as a film when I was watching it, like there is really cool effects and stuff like that, but just when I was sat there watching it, a lot of it I was just sat there thinking what's going on, and then that made me feel a little bit dumb, and then it meant that I was solely relying on the action aspects to keep me going, which I don't like as much. And obviously you want to enjoy the full film.
Yeah.
But that was it. So above average, definitely. And if I was rating it, the behind the scenes stuff, it'd be way above that. But 6 out of 10 is where I'm going.
Okay, cool. And would you recommend it?
Yeah, I would. I think,
especially at the moment with cinemas. Would you?
So I think if it was normal life, everything was normal. If only, I'd probably say I'd only go watch it in cinema if you're really into if you really want to know what happens and you're interested in the concept and stuff like that. But as a film, I wouldn't necessarily have minded waiting until it came out on Netflix as a DVD. I think personally, I would have still wanted to watch it in cinema because I am interested and I want to be able to talk about it, and it is a pretty cool one to talk about. But I wouldn't have been, sad. I don't think having known how I would feel now. I don't think I'd be sad about it.
Every Christopher Nolan film is always like a big screen experience. Having said that, we didn't really watch it on a big screen, did we?
It was a bit weird.
Local cinema. We supported our local cinema in the COVID-19 epidemic. No, our experience in the cinema as well. We had to wear masks for like 2.5 hours, but you can only take them off to eat or drink confectionery.
The whole mask thing is a bit weird. I feel like they need to sort that out a bit because they've got the they say you have to wear the mask through screen.
I'm telling you, temperature.
Oh that's what you're saying. It's temperature makes sense to me, and then just don't wear a mask. Because
if you're coughing, don't go. Just don't go. If it's cold, doesn't matter. Just don't go.
Yeah. I can't imagine the mask did much because you go to a cinema, you buy snacks and you buy a drink. And as soon as you've done that, you start snacking. You have to take your mask off to snack. You have to take your mask off to drink, and then you're constantly doing that every few minutes. I had it off more of the time than I had it on. I had it off more than I had it on, and for a lot of it, I just had it hanging on my ear because I was just eating and stuff, and it's just a bit pointless. And then it's just annoying because it's hanging on your ear.
Yeah.
So
I well wear it, but we have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they kind of need to sort that, figure something out.
But go and support your local cinema. Yeah. $4.99 or something for us to watch this movie, and that's nothing. Like, just go. Especially if it's quiet. We went early in the day, so if you go early in the day on like a Sunday morning, I'm pretty sure there won't be many people. And just populate it because they've got social distancing measures. There was a guy who kept coming in and spraying the thing every 5 minutes. They were being careful for the most part, but don't go if you've got a cough. Or if you've got a temperature, or you've got a bit of a sniffles, just don't go. But if you're feeling absolutely fine, Yeah.
With the whole booking thing as well, like especially with you can see what seats are taken up, so you can easily check whether it's busy or not.
You could
And then,
go as far away from
yeah,
everybody
exactly. Just go in the back corner,
Yeah.
and then it shouldn't be too bad. And like you say, £4 or something, that's about half price from what it was before.
Nothing.
So
And
really,
it's just to keep them open so they don't go
Yeah.
bankrupt. Like,
yeah.
right. Anyway, I'm gonna say a massive. Oh, actually, before that, I would recommend the movie. Go watch it, definitely. Right, massive spoiler warning from here on in. Here we go.
Spoiler warning. This
Okay,
one's real.
so Robert
probably.
Pattinson dies.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, yeah, we've given our reviews. We've given the main points of the story now. See you later. Chin chin.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
No, spoilers. How do we go into spoilers? Right, so
We just kind of like talk through it then. Should we work our way? Maybe less like we did with Ice Age, where we made a note of like really randomly detailed points and forget the actual story. But
it opens with him on a railway, doesn't it? And he
No,
tries
no.
to kill himself.
Opera House.
Opera House, yes.
Opera House.
Opera House. I forgot about that scene.
Yeah. One of the best
Good scene.
parts.
Yeah, there's bombs in an opera house, and he's like a special operative. He's not part of the actual force that goes in. And there's people planting bombs, and there's people trying to get rid of him. I was getting very confused who was who in this scene, but I think that was the point, because like they were getting confused which van was which. Because at the end he gets yeah. So, and when he's doing all this, he's trying to stop the bombs and also get this guy out of there, isn't he? And
Yeah.
as he's doing so, he fights a guy at one point, and then a bullet goes backwards out of this thing, like past him, and we were like, "Whoa, here we go!"
Yeah. Here we go, boys. It's kicking off now. And then they left.
He stops the bombs by like them to the upper balconies, so all like the regular seats are saved, and then he runs out, and he goes.
Oh, big explosion.
Big explosion. Goes
away
into the car, and then he gets in the wrong van, I think, or something, because he gets in a van, and then like they're like, "Hey, you son of a bitch!" And
This whole bit, yeah, that whole bit. Straight away, I was already confused. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who, like the Russian.
Well, you've only seen one, so
Because it seemed like they were like 3 teams or something, weren't they? Because already, so you're straight in the film, and even though it was a cool scene, you're straight in the film, and there's 4 different groups of people all attacking this opera house, and obviously you have no prior knowledge of anything in this world. So you've got the police, you've got this special squad with the main guy, you've got like the important guy who's sat in the box, you've got the terrorists, and then you've got the time jumpy guy. So you've got all these people you're following, that you're following through this, and you don't have a clue who any of them are. So at the start, I thought the main guy was a bad guy. Actually, I thought this was like a story about kind of like a Breaking Bad
I
type
thought so
character or
too.
something.
Like to begin with, I thought
Really
he was.
confused, yeah.
He introduced him like a bad guy. He sat there and he like catches a bullet or something. He like flicks a bullet up and he's like that. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, because they're all in suits as well, and obviously the bombs are going off. So I thought he was part of this, these police people who were double crossing the police or whatever. I still don't really get what went down. It was just a cool scene, I guess. But yeah.
I think it'd make more sense after watching the film, because at the end, it turns out that Robert Pattinson was the guy that was running down the thing or whatever. Cause
at least you have an idea or two.
So you sort of know what's going on. Yeah. He's the guy who does the reverse bullet, I think. Yeah. I think that's where that goes.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so but it is a cool scene, and then you go to a train yard and there's someone threatening him tied into a chair.
This was my favourite bit about the opening. I like that, where they're removing his teeth, and then he manages to like kill himself on the other guy's suicide pill.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that is pretty cool. Yeah, he jumps down in his chair and eats it off the floor pretty much.
My question is though, when he eats that, is it like out of Skyfall? Javier Bardem's character where his face is all
right, yeah.
I was like, because they say we've rebuilt your mouth. That's what they say when he wakes up.
All right,
so
okay.
Is that just his teeth,
so
or is that like his entire jaw as well?
I mean, they did it pretty well. He's got like a solid, his jaw isn't
like this the rest of
it might be a bit like Kanye West or something, where he's got a little slur, or just
Tenet.
No, still got perfect famous person face. And then he's on a boat with a guy who tells him to go to a lab to talk about the Time War thing. That's all I got from that. And then they go to the lab, and there's that woman. I reckon.
Lady.
Yeah. I don't know who she is, but I recognise her from stuff. I think she's French.
She was in something that we've seen. I don't know what though.
Uh,
I'll Google it. Carry
yeah.
on.
Yeah, so they're in the lab, and this is when they do all the exposition about how the time stuff works, which actually, it was pretty helpful, actually. It is just kind of like an intro to what happened. So they do the bullet shooting thing that I was on about, where there's a bullets in the wall, and then he uses the reverse time gun, and unshoots the bullet from the wall, and then he has his hand, and he does that, but he, like, does the opposite of dropping something, and the bullet flies into his hand, which is all pretty cool. And they show they've got a lot of stuff like a lot of objects that they're finding that are doing the same thing that are reversed, and they tell him it's because of like a time war or something. Someone's trying to destroy the universe or something by.
I found out who that woman is.
So
she is French. You're right. She's the lady out of Harry Potter. You know, the one that is it Ron fancies. She's in blue.
Oh yeah, is that all she is?
No, not all that she's in, but what you.
Yeah. Oh no,
she's in Bruges. She's his love interest, isn't she? In Bruges, you've seen in Bruges, haven't you?
Yeah.
She's his love interest.
I don't think that was it either.
And then she's in a series I've been watching called The Tunnel, which is very good. Watch that shit. But yeah, no. Yeah, okay. Harry Potter's where I first saw her because all she was.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I remember her though.
I know I recognized. I was like, you were younger at one point. No. She was in the tunnel. I forgot. But in the tunnel, she looks different. She's not. Well, the hair's tied up. That's the only difference.
Oh my god, who is this woman?
What were we up to?
Yes, they've done the lab thing. They've done the lab thing. They've done the lab bit where they explain every time. Well, they explain a bit of the timey stuff, so you kind of understand the concept.
Timey-wimey.
Yeah, the timey-wimey stuff.
Then
there's just this part of the film I didn't really like actually, because it did just feel like the main character was being passed around random characters. So you meet him at the opera house, and then he goes he's when he's tied up in a chair, and which is all fine, that makes sense. But then he's on a boat with some random old dude who we never see again, and he tells him to go to this lab, and then we meet this woman in the lab who we never see again, and she explains it, which that I guess is fair enough as well, because that's explaining it. But then he goes to, then he meets Robert Pattinson, doesn't he? And they have to break into some like Indian tower thing, like skyscraper by anti.
Oh, that's cool though, because they get pulled up.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a reverse rope or something.
So did I, yeah. So I thought.
In the trailer, I was like, they found this reverse rope sent back from the future.
I thought they did like a reverse bungee jump.
Yeah.
But no, it was just
a rope.
Yeah, they actually just shot it up and that was it.
I believe he's done most of the stunts when I was like Googling him.
Which one?
Our favourite Denzel Washington's son.
Denzel Washington. Yeah.
Oh god, I liked him in this, and then he was in Black Klansman, which is another good film.
Yeah.
But I did not realise he was Denzel Washington's son because he's called like John David or something.
Yeah.
Normally.
Is he? All right, I thought it was like John David
Washington. Right, let me just get into that. It's a piss take.
Go on, get your steam on.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow my steam. Like, why on God's green earth? He's good. He is good. I enjoy him. I've enjoyed him in 2 films, but I don't see any new actors anymore. I just see people's children, or like a producer's daughter, or I don't even know, like anybody. Just give me one new one. Like, there's no one, is there? Can you name someone? Timothy Chalamet's like probably a newer one, but he's like
he's
like someone's son. Well, isn't he like a lord or something? I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's all about who you know, innit?
I know.
Yeah.
It's a shock.
In other words, anyone can act. It's just about who you know.
It's just about who you know. There's nothing involved with
it. Right.
And basically, if you've got dreams of becoming an actor, you should just give up. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh God, no, that pisses me off though. What do you think about that?
I don't know, not much. To be fair, it has like kind of always happened. I haven't been paying too much attention, so I couldn't really tell you whether it's gotten worse.
It's a new guy.
Yeah,
It's a new actor.
We got Star Wars. Star Wars is new people, kind of.
No,
Except they're not that new.
He was new.
Yeah, kind of.
He's not been in anything since because he's not someone's.
Because he was in those Star Wars films.
Yeah. Hey, I'm one of the few people who like Last Jedi. At some point, we need to do like a Star Wars review as a
whole thing. We're not going to fit that in. I mean, we've been talking for 30 minutes about the first 5 minutes of Tenet.
Right, how do we get all that through? Right, so timey-wimey stuff happens.
Like 12 films of Star Wars in one.
Timey-wimey stuff happens, and then we get to Kenneth Branagh.
So they're on the Indian skyscraper, and they go up to the top, and then they meet a woman who...
For some reason, we still don't know why this is part of the movie.
Yes, that was it. So they meet another person who...
I meet Kenneth Branagh, who's the guy who apparently is going to cause the apocalypse of the world.
Even after this, they go and meet Michael Caine as well, because why not?
Oh, Michael and he has some chicken.
Eating some chicken legs, just like... It was really... I don't know, it was like he must have had the juiciest chicken legs going. Like, it was just like... And then he's just talking, and he's, you know, really, really thick, like, British accent, like, with, like, saliva all around his lips. And he's like, you've got to go meet the... That was really... I'm not even going to try to do a saliva-y Michael Caine.
Do a saliva Michael Caine. We'll reenact the scene, right?
You only have to blow the bloody doors off.
What? What?
Anyway, so he then directs him to another woman, the main woman in the film.
It's like a ping pong table.
It's like, how many characters we met now? We've met about 8.
I feel like Christopher Nolan had an idea, right? He had an idea of this time reversing thing going forward all at the same time. He's like, I'm going to do that, but fuck, we'll just connect it afterwards. We'll do everything. You know, at least I still think it's good. It's just...
I want him fighting himself backwards and then forwards. And then I want a war at the end, and that's it.
The war, though, that was so anticlimactic. There was like about 20 dudes running across the field or something. Like, probably blew the budget.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yes, this is all. They're meeting a lot of people, getting a lot of exposition that I missed quite a bit of because it was all like quick and random people, and I was spending the time being confused about who they were rather than what they were saying. Then we meet this woman who's married to a Russian billionaire, who's the bad guy. What's he called? I forgot his name.
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh, yeah, doing a Russian accent. I personally didn't really like him in this film. I
thought he was great. I loved him. Why did you like him?
Because he's, you know the whole thing about when you think someone's perfect for a part, you forget about, it's that famous person, and you see them just as a character. I just kept seeing him as Kenneth Branagh putting on a Russian accent. I kind of hate when
his accents at the moment,
when normal actors put on Russian accents and stuff. It's just a bit, I don't know. It just put me off a lot.
Accent though, Kenneth, doesn't he? Have you seen the Orient Express? Not the Orient Express. What is it?
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient Express. He's doing a French, and then in the new Death on the Nile, he's doing that again.
Yeah, so it was all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I still think he's a great actor, and I think he probably did well, but I just couldn't get over the fact that it was him with a Russian accent, and that was about it.
It was really weird watching him be a bad guy, because he's normally like not a bad guy. He was in Wild Wild West. Have you ever seen that movie?
Is that the Will Smith one?
Yeah.
Wild West.
He's in a wheelchair.
That came out.
Well, howdy there, boys. I want to do this, and you're like, oh, that's Kenneth Branagh in that one. An accent again.
I hope it wasn't like that, because if it's on the level of Russian, then maybe.
It was honestly that bad. He's in the wheelchair. He's like, well, look at you, boss. Like that. You'll Google it after this. I swear to God.
Pervert or something.
He's like, I don't even know. He's been cut in half in that, and he's like in a wheelchair. And like, he can't have sex, and he's like frustrated because he can't have sex, and it looks like he's driving.
He just wants to touch the boy's big muscles.
To touch Will Smith.
Here, let me feel your sweet, sweet muscles.
It's not far off, I swear. It's far off that. I remember thinking, God, that's a bad accent when I watched that. Maybe he just does bad accents.
Yeah, luckily he's not a pervert in this, I don't think. But
Threatened his wife to fuck him, otherwise he'll like take her son
I mean, yeah,
away.
he kind of like enslaves his wife and threatens her with his child. But other than that,
It's 10 all white. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's such an attractive lady. She's just a very large lady.
oh, yeah, she was really tall, wasn't she? Like she stood like a meter above everyone. It was really
It was a weird choice for like the driving force for the protagonist, like being this lady for the most part.
yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, because the point is she's the
He was
one,
like this big on her, like
Yeah.
she was like.
she's like the one person that he left alive at the end who knew about this whole time stuff. Because they were meant to kill off everyone at the end, weren't they? And she was the one person that he left alive because he had like a connection. But it never really felt that way because
like,
every time he talked to her, he's just like creaking his neck, and then he has to step on a shoebox to kiss her on the cheek. And it's like, they go to an airport, and it's him and Robert Pattinson, and they have to destroy a painting or something, so the Russian guy doesn't have a hold over the woman. I'm really describing it badly. They go to destroy this painting, and it's like a little heist thing, isn't it? They do a little pre-check, and they go in, Robert Pattinson in his suit and stuff, and then they have to hold their breath, and it's all kind of tense. And then they break into the back room, and then this guy in a full like SWAT suit, who we kind of saw at the start, the guy who was reverse time, comes out, and so the main guy and Robert Pattinson are in different rooms, like sealed off by a window, and then there's two guys that come out on either side, but you can tell one of them's fighting Robert Pattinson, the other one's fighting like reverse time, so he's like doing like really weird like exorcist kind of stuff in it.
That's the weirdest bit. He's
like yeah, because they do the bullet thing actually, don't they? There's bullet holes in the window when they walk in, and then the guy comes back in and unshoots the bullet hole.
More of that, that bullet reverse thing. It's only really in this scene, and like.
Yeah, it isn't in much, is it?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more part of the movie, to be honest.
I guess he wants to get past bullets and go for RPGs. That was kind of it, wasn't it?
Blow up a building. Christopher, no!
That's the cool fact. This is when you start to see when they use the reverse effects fully with normal time. So when the main guy's fighting this SWAT guy in reverse time, it's really it's mad how I haven't actually watched any videos on it, but it must have been really impressive how they did it.
Because he does he's either on strings or he's a body popper or something. Because he can I don't know.
They must have choreographed it really well. I don't know if they actually did do it. I imagine they must have done some of his stuff. The reverse guys. They must have done some of it forward and some of it backwards, and then some of it they just made it look backwards and like the actual fighting bits, and then some like there's one bit when he he falls backwards and then he's trying to crawl away from him. But he does it in reverse, so it's kind of it's really like Exorcist kind of like he's back, and it's really cool.
At this point though, we were so hyped, we were like, this is going to be the
best. Yeah, and then so they do that anyway. They have a fight, they get away, plane explodes, and they crash a plane into the building. That's
the guy gets like sucked out the door, which is really weird.
Yeah, backwards sucked out the door. It's really strange.
Later, but at this point we were like,
so they do that, and then they kind of leave. Where do they go next? It's not the car chase next, is it? There's something before that. I can't remember.
Oh God, I can't. Anyway,
he goes to meet the Russian guy, doesn't he?
This is boring exposition. This is the middle part of the movie where it's
so they go on his yacht. They go on. I've forgotten his name again. What's called Russian guy?
I can't remember his name. Oh,
no, the billionaire.
Oh,
yeah.
What's his name in the film? I don't know.
It's probably Sergey or something, isn't it? It's always Sergey.
Meerkat.
They go on his yacht, and there's a bit of, back and forth and threatening each other, and I know about the opera house and that you set it up and everything, and then they do all that, and they find out that Kenneth Branagh's he's dug up reverse time stuff in the ground from the future.
Yeah, it was like kind of, it looked like Chernobyl, but it wasn't Chernobyl. Like he was shoveling the shit from that dig site, and
as a kid,
another guy, and then he found this capsule which had loads of gold in it, and he shoveled the guy to death and took the gold. But he had a note to him, didn't it? Doesn't it address him?
It's directly. So someone from the future sent this back to Kenneth Branagh, which is how he's become a billionaire because he's got all this stuff. So And then, but because of that, so that he could have a really wealthy life, he's agreed to pretty much destroy the universe at some point. So they kind of have to start. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So
heart condition. We can say that because we know it.
Oh yeah, he has a heart condition. Yeah.
No, it's not. Is it a heart condition? He's got cancer. He's got like colon cancer or something. She says.
I can't remember.
He's like fucked anyway. He's on his way out.
Yes, he's gonna die anyway. So, but he Oh, what was I gonna say now? I forgot. What was I gonna say? He's gonna destroy everything.
He's got colon cancer.
Yeah, he's got colon cancer. And that's about it. Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, I remember now. So there's this big device in there made up of 8 pieces, which is what you need to kind of destroy the universe. I don't know what it was, but there's 8 pieces to it.
We might as well just summarizing now, like just like what we remember. So just say about the 8. Yeah.
Yes, there's an 8. You know what do they call it? There's like a film term for anything. There's 8 pieces that they have to collect to.
Oh, the plot device. Oh god, yeah. What's it called? No, carry on.
Yeah. So
monkey's paw.
Something like.
Say it, don't they? Like, is it the monkey's paw? Because J.J. Abrams uses it in bloody Rise of Skywalker. Like, they have to go get this and they have to go get that.
It's a really long word beginning with G. Like, what? Anyway, I'll I don't know. Anyway, yes. Anyway, you know what we mean. The plot device. They have to get 8 pieces. Someone from the future's buried it, but reverse buried it, so it's gone back in time. Yeah. But they buried it in different places, so no one could ever find it. But then obviously, Kenneth has found it. And he has 1 piece left to get, but then somehow the main guy gets it. I can't even remember how he got it. Probably from reverse stuff as well. That's it. The time stuff was kind of confusing. You know, even in one moment, just watching one scene, it could be quite confusing. Watching, figuring out how stuff is going forward and back at the same time. But when you're thinking about the full story as a whole, about how stuff is going forward and back in different places as well, it did get quite confusing. But so they have a car chase. Kenneth Branagh's trying to get the last piece. And yeah, it's pretty cool. There's like a heist thing they're on.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, they steal it from Kenneth Branagh, and then Kenneth Branagh gets it back, I think. And they get like a big fire truck, and they jump over and break into the van and steal it back.
I want to know though how he got a reverse car. That's what I want to know.
Oh wait, no, that. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Oh wait, no, he doesn't. That's the thing. So he, I think.
No, because he's breathing the oxygen mask at this point. He's in the thing, and he's got the oxygen mask on.
No, so the first bit when he steals it, he is normal time in it. They're all going normally, and then Kenneth wins and he captures him, and then he threatens the woman. So they've got another one of these rooms with 2 sides where it's one side backwards and one side's forwards, and then he shoots the woman backwards in backwards time, don't they? So, but apparently, if you shoot someone in backwards time, it's really bad and they die or something. It would be really bad though, Brad, because it's like a bullet going backwards, and the back of the bullet would explode that way, if that makes sense. So rather than it impacting the flesh and exploding and then going out, it would go backwards and explode as it goes backwards. It would rupture all your internal organs. I don't know how she lived at all, to be honest. But I would have thought that because it was going reverse, you know how when they unshoot a bullet from the wall and the wall fixes itself, I would have thought that when they unshot the bullet, the bullet would have come out, and then the chest would have been, destroyed before and then fixed afterwards. I don't know.
To be fair, that's a good point, because when he gets shot in the arm, and when he goes back to the airport,
he gets fixed afterwards.
He gets fixed because it's bleeding before he goes in, and then when he gets out, it's fine. That doesn't make sense.
It is a bit confusing. That's the thing.
Maybe it does make sense, and we're just, not
exactly. That's the thing that it probably does, but there was a lot of different confusing time stuff.
We've only seen it once, by the way, so we're not like we won't see it 5 times.
Yeah, you go 3 times. And,
normally though, if you're in a movie, we might watch it more than once, but because it's COVID-19, we're scared to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, there's this whole thing, and then to save the woman, he has to take her back in. He has to, kind of reverse time her as well. So he goes in reverse time. All these army guys who are helping him out now, so they all go in reverse time. And this was the bit actually when I thought now it's going to get cool, because now the main character's in reverse time and everything else is in normal time. So whereas before everything was in normal time and then it was just these specific objects that were reversed, it was kind of this cool this is the second half of the film, they explain everything right. Like you're steering a car and everything to do with you is reversed, but
Well, he's trying to
everything
drive, isn't it? He's going like all
exactly,
over.
yeah, but literally everything is reversed. Air resistance is reversed, and it's just it was pretty cool.
When he does the car chase, it ends and he topples
Yeah.
it. Kenneth Branagh tries to kill him, but he can't kill him because the explosion's inverted, so it freezes him dead.
Yeah,
like just really cold.
Yeah, it's inverted heat or something, so he freezes in the car, and that's it. So that whole thing's pretty cool. And then I think the way it works is we're kind of going back through.
This is why it's a 7 for me, though. Like these sort of little snippets.
Yeah.
But like this, all that, like we've just talked about a load of boring shit, and then it gets to the good little snippets.
Yeah.
I think they should have stuck with what Robert Pattinson said early on, where he was like, "Just don't think about it." I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God. I went to US and I was like, oh yeah, no, let's just enjoy the film. But then they went and explained it all. So they should have just
much stuff comes into it. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about that stuff at all, really. I like the visuals. That's what I like, personally. I don't need to know how something works. Like, the DeLorean in Back to the Future, I don't need to know how it works. He puts say, like, banana skin in it, and somehow he travels through time. Okay, I'm all right with it, like...
See, that is the thing. I don't know whether this is, poor humanship, and I'm not really appreciating it or anything, but to me, it did feel like it's made to have more set pieces than it did. And a lot of it was, like I say, exposition and talking, and that's why I didn't like the maybe, yeah. But then they could pay, we've run out of money for a cool set piece. Let's just pay a few million to have Michael Caine talk whilst he's having a meal. Do you reckon he was? I reckon that was actually him in a restaurant.
Michael Caine contractually obligated to be in every movie.
Yeah, in every Christopher Nolan film. Yeah.
Right.
No, do you reckon he was actually just out having a meal in his suit with his butler, eating his chicken ribs, and then Christopher Nolan's just like, mate, we need to get some more exposition in. Can we just walk up? You just say these lines. We'll have a woman with the card. Just have to read it out. It'll be easy. He's like,
Michael Caine.
Oh, go on, mate.
Michael Caine's like, no, I told you, Christopher, I don't want to do this. He's like, I've got something on you, Michael. Do you remember what you did in 1995? Right, I'll do it.
But I want my chicken legs. I will not wait.
Brilliant, Michael Caine. Let's go a bit faster. So we get to the climax.
So it's all reversed, and then we go back to the airport scene again, which was my favourite part of the film. So it then turns out that actually our main character. Oh, what?
Out the middle, keep those two bits. You could have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we
didn't need
to. No, exactly. Yeah, we didn't. So yeah, we're back in the airport, but this time we're seeing it from another angle where they're trying to get the woman back through this time machine thing that they saw before. And they go back in, but everything's obviously reversed. And then it turns out that actually the main character and Robert Pattinson are the main character is the SWAT guy that he was fighting before, the reverse SWAT guy. But then so it's pretty much the main character fighting against himself from the future, but reversed. And then he goes into the time machine. So he's literally like in two versions. Yeah. So it's like him going in forward time and him reverse.
Coming out.
Like, yeah, exactly. So the two people who were fighting, both Robert Pattinson and the main guy earlier, are both the main guy. And that was really cool when you see it, and you everything's clicking from another angle, and obviously you get to see the cool fight scene.
I knew that though when he was in the ambulance and they were arriving. I went to you. I went, he falling down to that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because you can see they put the masks and stuff in it, and it's all really cool. And then all the different effects, because before it is quite hard to understand stuff in reverse. So all these bits about him climbing on the floor and being sucked out through the gate and stuff, it all makes sense when you see it for this second time whilst it's reversed. And that scene I thought was really good. That was my favourite part of the film, just the way it all came together. And that was kind of what I was excited for when he went into reverse time. So then they do all that. They save the woman. Then they have to, I don't know, there's a big fight. There's a big war thing. They have to stop. Oh yes, they pretty much just have to stop Kenneth from destroying the universe by dropping
the time machine in the art dealer's place. Never mind.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, it happens. It works out.
Never mind. Yeah.
Ignore the plot holes. There's a big war, and this is a.
What if the
cool idea
janitor
as well.
wandered in?
The what?
What if the
Yeah,
janitor
yeah. If you just come in,
he's like just brushing the floor, he
and
goes
then
in.
this guy's
he's
just
like,
crawling
he's
on the wall in
unclean.
the Exorcist.
He's uncleaning the floor. He's like, fuck!
Yeah, he's just mopping and the floor gets more wet, and he's like, stop. Yeah, that's funny. That'd be pretty good actually. Like an extra. Maybe that was after credits. Yeah, we missed that. Yeah, we get to this war and they're doing like a. That was pretty cool. There's like a pincer movement. So there's two groups in this army that are stopping Kenneth Branagh from destroying the universe. One's going forward in time, one's going back in time. So it pretty much means that the people going back in time, after having the fight, have informed the ones going forward in time, and the ones going forward in time after the fight have informed the ones going back in time. So they pretty much know everything that's going to happen through the war, and it's. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And then they go in, and it's really cool because there's two teams fighting at the same time, like pretty much a war zone, in two different times. So, there was that really cool shot of where a forward time person and a backwards time person shoot two parts of a skyscraper, don't they? So like, yeah, and like one half explodes and one half like builds, implodes, and then collapses, and that was really cool. So yeah, there's this big.
What was going to happen here though? You know when Robert Pattinson goes back through the thing, and he comes out and he's got the blue thing on him. I was thinking he's going to get shot, or someone's going to mistake him. But no, none of that really.
I know what you mean when you're saying before, though. It was a bit of an anticlimax when we'd seen some of these really, and like I say, there were cool shots in it, but as a action set piece, especially a war kind of thing, it didn't feel.
It was cool. Like, I'm telling you right now, it probably cost a lot of money to do that reverse blowing up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it didn't. I don't know. It never went. It was like this. Like it went. But it never went. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Not that I'm not like an avid filmmaker or anything, but in my mind it was made.
Let us just mention that.
Yeah, no, I have no clue about anything officially. But I feel like in my mind it would have made more sense to do, like a war thing, like I don't know, like Saving Private Ryan or something, where you kind of stick with one person, but then it has all these cool little bits. Like it was kind of just going around the war scene, and I didn't really realize like what was going on with the bad guys. I didn't know where, it wasn't like, oh, the bad guys are here and we have to break into this building or anything. It was just kind of everyone's everywhere, everything's exploding, and we'll just shove some random cool shots in. It wasn't like, oh, we'll use our chance to follow like one or two people and show all these different cool techniques, even if it's just little things like these reverse bullet shots and stuff like that. But just showing all these little different things along the way.
Well, I think so. I think that climax could have been like amazing. It just. But when we get down there, we need to explain the final point. So when they get in, the protagonist goes with.
I was so confused.
Oh right, the protagonist for some reason, Aaron Taylor Johnson is in this movie from Kick-Ass. Don't know why. He's got like 4 lines. He's got a big beard now. He was doing his best impression. He was doing his best impression of Captain Price from Call of Duty. So they run down into the tunnels, and they're trying to stop this bomb from going off because Kenneth Branagh's got all his pieces. Meanwhile, on the boat, you got that lady with going to kill Kenneth Branagh, but she has to wait to do it because when he dies, his heart monitor in his hand's linked to the bomb.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. And they got that, and they get down, and the gate's locked, and one of Branagh's henchmen's there. But on the floor next to one of Branagh's henchmen is a dead body with a blue sticker on. So it's one of the reverse people, not one of the forward people. And this is all happening, and they can't get in, and then they shoot, Aaron Taylor Johnson. They don't kill him, but they shoot him. So he's out, and the protagonist is talking to Kenneth Branagh on FaceTime.
Got a phone from somewhere.
How was he talking to him?
I don't know.
No, seriously? Oh no, wait, it is all in the past, isn't it? Never mind. I was gonna say, are they in 2 different places in time? Because that'd make no sense. I can't remember.
Honestly, I'm leaving this all to you because this whole thing, I was just watching and I had no clue what was going on.
This guy that's there, he's dead, isn't he? But he's a reverse one. So he
Yeah.
comes back alive. So as he's about to shoot the protagonist,
yeah.
this guy flies up in the air and gets shot. But then it's like the reverse shot. So he comes back alive, gets the guy, opens the door. The protagonist shoots the fella. They get the bomb just in time. The other guy like fucking boogies, moonwalks out of there. Because it's in reverse. We don't know who he is, but he's got a little coin on his backpack. And then the protagonist and Aaron Taylor-Johnson, a rope comes down from Robert Pattinson, who's driving a truck. They grab the rope, they get the thing, they take the whatever this time weapon is out. We never know what this time weapon is. They never really explain it, do they? It's something like it's the end of the world. So they take this time thing out of the bomb, so the bomb's still going to go off, but the time thing's out of it. So that's the main thing. So they get out and they get lifted up, and then the bomb goes off because Kenneth Branagh's been shot by his wife. I think I did a pretty good job there. So they get out, they get pulled out by Robert Pattinson and Neil. That's his name. I remember his name.
Neil?
Neil. Okay. I'm pretty sure his name's Neil. Have a Google, but its name is Neil. Watch it not be Neil. Everyone's like, so Neil takes them, like, saves them, and she escapes. And it turns out the person who dived off the boat that she saw ages ago, thinking he was having an affair.
Yeah, there's that as well, isn't
there?
So
but that was kind of, I like that bit because she said I'd give anything to be her, like going away and not have any like problems, not have this child, and then like it was her. So she has
in the past.
That's weird because that must be a paradox in itself because there's two of her now. So there's one that like exists
with the kid and one kind of hides.
And has a happy ending, and the other one can go off and probably end up with the protagonist, like hold in her arms.
That's the thing he has to do. There's a thing with Rowan Atkinson. Robert Pattinson. Yeah, there's a thing with him as well, and just before it ends as well. So they'll win. Yeah. Oh yeah. So then we just see that it's Robert Pattinson with the coin on his bag. So it turns out he was the one who died. That's pretty much it. But then there's that thing where it's literally like they have to go and hide the 8 pieces again. But they say that they have to kill everyone who knows about the time stuff to make sure that it can't.
Johnson has a change of.
And then he does kill everyone. Like he kills the Indian woman. I didn't even realise she was still to do with it, but they kill her. That's what I was saying before. So he leaves the woman, the wife, alive, because he likes her. But I don't know. It was just a bit weird, wasn't it? And then
There's no romance there, really, was there? No, the entire film was concept before actual characters and everything.
And that's
because, like, Interstellar
incredible.
Is both, I think. Because Matthew McConaughey with his daughter and all that, so that fleshes him out. But this just, I don't know, like it was good, but the concept was good and the action was good for the most part. But the characters, I like Neil. Please be Neil. Please be Neil. I'll check after we're done. Neil. I like Neil. I thought Robert Pattinson was fleshed out for the most part. But the protagonist, I don't know. And he's Denzel Washington's son, so I've already got something against him. Not a new actor. He's someone's son again.
He cheated.
But yeah, is that it? I think we did it.
I think so. Yeah, I just think, like you said, you thought concept first, and the concept is really good, which is why I think it is worth. That's the reason it's worth watching, because that whole concept is really cool. But I just thought of this actually. Like a lot of the time with Christopher Nolan's films, I do feel a bit stupid afterwards. Like, oh, I'm such an idiot that I couldn't follow along. Like mainly Interstellar, because that one lost me a bit. That one lost me less. Because I guess it is, it's not meant to be completely understood when they go into like the 4D world and stuff like that. It's not meant to be completely understood, is it? The point is that it's,
it's like it makes sense. So it's sort of explained by Michael Caine again.
Yeah, But that one kind of confused me. But even though that's the thing, I feel like is it actually my fault that I feel a bit stupid? Shouldn't he find a way of kind of making them not. Does it really need to be a full? I don't know. Like
I don't know. I prefer
every
that,
single
though.
scientific detail of.
No, for me though, Brad. To be honest with you, I have conflict opinion here because, like, for the general audiences, no. But I like a film that makes you think and makes you think about it because otherwise we just have like 50,000 Fast and Furiouses or
Yeah.
like loads of Avengers movies. I'm so fed up with the.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I get.
I've been
I
fed
agree
up
with
for
that,
so
but
long, to be honest.
I feel like there's like more of a middle ground. Like there's that much, there's that like you said, there's that much exposition and talking that they're constantly adding more stuff in as they go along, and we didn't need it all. What did like some of the sentences that he said to this in the second time that
the
the Indian one.
audiences, especially right now, do general audiences want to know all that? No. That's the
like it'd be cool as knowledge if you wanted to read around it or something. Like it'd be really, it's one of those things that I feel like it would be cool if Christopher Nolan was like, oh yeah, I've built up this universe around this, and then you could read about that and look into it.
A TV show would be fucking amazing with Tenet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be really cool because then
episode 2 you've got the airport, and then episode 7 you've got the airport again. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, but I feel like the whole point of it's like a balance in it, and while I obviously I like ones that make you think, I feel like sometimes he goes a bit overboard, and all this just adding, like, so that's what I was saying. The second time we meet the Indian woman, I literally can't remember like what did he even say to her then? They literally just met, and it was like,
I still don't know who the Indian woman was.
Exactly.
She's an arms dealer, but
and they just, I don't know. So I feel like some of those scenes could be cut out, and they didn't need. It was just unnecessarily confusing to add more stuff in to think about when you're already trying to process the airport scene just after you've watched it by thinking, wait, how did he get sucked out again? Does that happen in reverse? I guess so. But then what sucked him out? Oh wait, he actually fell in, and then it's just.
I think it succeeded as a unique movie, but.
Yeah.
As an action film, I don't think it fully did because I did prefer Mission Impossible Fallout. I thought that was a great practical action movie. Have you seen that?
Is that the one with Henry Cavill?
Yeah, I thought that was so.
Wait, isn't that
like,
5?
compared to the other ones, it was just great. Like I don't know.
I think that's 5. Because I think 4's the one when he climbs the Burj Khalifa.
No, it's 6. It's 6 because you've got
6.
4, 6, 5. Yeah, Mission Impossible 6.
I really enjoyed that one as well.
I thought it was great.
That was less thinky. Like I feel like it can obviously get more thinky than that, but as an action film, that was really good. But yeah, I feel like just a balance. Maybe slightly.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying Mission Impossible Fallout's the greatest movie. Although I did love it. Like I loved it more than this. Yeah.
Good film.
That was surprising. I went to watch it thinking, oh, it's another Mission Impossible. And I was like, whoa! Right. So, that final score after talking, has it changed?
I don't think it's changed enough to move a full level. I think on a scale of enjoyment and how much I appreciated watching the film, I think I'd say a 6. On if I was looking at all the cool detail and I wanted to look into the lore of the world, that would be really cool. And don't get me wrong, it would be really cool. And just the thought-provoking stuff of how it all works, that's way cooler than a 6. But as a film and how I enjoyed it and how I felt about it, it's a 6. So,
Right. So that's our final scores: 7 out of 10 from me, and a 6 out of 10 from Bradley. And next time, what are we doing, Bradley? You know what we're doing.
Something that makes me feel less stupid, probably.
The last of part 2. Yeah, we're doing a game.
Women with big biceps.
If you'd like to comment down below, if anyone comments, if you want anything, we'll watch it, and we'll talk about it. So
paper paint if you want me to. It's like
a porn parody. We'll watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch porn parodies.
We'll happily watch that now. So Last of Us Part 2, you can look forward to that. We'll try to get that done maybe next week, something like that. So see you next time.
It's the Last of Us series that we're doing, isn't it? Because we're doing the first one as well, and the DLC maybe.
Yes, we're doing the series, not just Part 2. For me, though, I need to play the fucking first one again, don't I? I've not.
Yeah, I've already played Last of Us 2. I'll have to play that again.
I've not even played Left Behind. Anyway.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, Tenet, that was fun. So.
See you next time.
My pretty matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch.